what is the solution moving forward? Because this is terrifying to everyone.
Yeah, the solution is stop using VPNs. Not complicated.
This episode is made possible by OIT VoIP. Find your best-in-class revenue generation for MSPs all over the world. Learn more via the link in the show notes.
You're watching MSP Dispatch, your source for news, community events, and commentary in the MSP channel. I'm Tony Francisco, and in today's story, novel attack against virtually all VPN apps neuters their entire purchase, from ArsTechnica.com. Researchers have unveiled a new attack named Tunnel Vision, targeting virtually all VPN applications, causing them to route traffic outside the encrypted tunnel. This tactic weakens the primary function of VPNs, which is to secure internet traffic and conceal IP addresses. The attack, affecting VPNs connected to hostile networks, cannot be entirely prevented except on Linux or Android platforms. Tunnel Vision manipulates the DHCP server, overriding the default routing rules and rerouting VPN traffic through itself. And by exploiting DHCP option 121, the attack diverts data through the DHCP server, enabling traffic interception. The attacker then gains control over the victim's traffic, enabling reading, dropping, or modification. Although Android is immune due to its DHCP configuration, other operating systems lack complete fixes. Remedies include running VPNs through virtual machines or connecting through cellular Wi-Fi. Ray, I know that you know nothing about Linux or Android devices, or you're like, come on, Tony, take the leash off of me. Let's just call it out, Tony. Call it out. This is absolutely terrifying. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Because DHCP has been such a weakness. We literally just got done talking in the last episode about zero trust DNS, and that how DNS runs on everything, which, by the way, I've got a lot of good impact or feedback from that, because the impact that it's going to have, even though it seems to be a catchy phrase name, the reality is DNS runs everything, and zero trust, zero trust, zero trust. But now we're at DHCP being exploited, and VPNs are a clear component of it. What are your thoughts on this story? This is absolutely terrifying.
The sky is falling. We should all run away and get offline. I mean, to be fair, that's the outcome of every one of our security stories. Just get offline and run.
I'm still using a VCR because I'm afraid to go to anything like IP address. I still go to MapQuest.com and print it out, my directions, because I don't want it to know where I'm actually going, where my phone to go know where I'm going. What is, other than just sticking to where I'm clearly in this neurotic 1980s, 90s phase. What is the solution moving forward? Because this is terrifying to everyone.
Yeah, the solution is stop using VPNs. Not complicated.
Well, but doesn't this go back to what you and I have been saying the entire time? Dazzle them with the basics. MFA. Everything has to be zero trust. You don't. In a lot of cases, you don't actually need the VPN at all, because that just gives you a really secure tunnel to pipe your shit back and forth. I don't know if I can say that, but if you have, content filtering, there's web application firewalls. You've got MFA at each side, and there's actual the ACLs at their best will allow you to just do very basic configuration. But dazzling them with the basics almost eliminates the need for a VPN, and less moving parts means less attack surfaces. Am I wrong in that?
You're not, but I look at it for a little different reason. I look at more of an elevated network design. If this was 1990, I'd be standing up a back office server. If this is 2001, 2002, I'd be setting up an SBS host, depending on the size. In 2024, I'm looking for web apps. I'm looking for stuff that can be proxied through web apps. If I have to sit there and log into a file share and before I start getting yelled at, the majority, I know there are a certain class of clients that do need on-premises storage or their own controller storage, and it's not tenable to put in a traditional cloud solution. I get that for the 4 of you, but for the rest of you that are whining about your client, it's bullshit. Okay, because I don't care if it's HVAC or plumber or retail or whatever. By taking the VPN out of the mix, by using cloud native technologies, by using everything within the Microsoft ecosystem or whatever ecosystem you want to use, you avail yourself to all the security functions of Azure Cloud, of Entra. Why am I going to sit there where most people set up a VPN to connect, just like they used to set up RDP? And I'm strongly feeling that VPN is the new RDP as far as the risk surface, as far as the how many times we're going to hear about with complaints. Guys, this is the equivalent of getting hit with the Melissa virus in 2024. If you got hit, it's your fault. There, between warp, between, even Microsoft did this away with the always on VPN previously, right? And that was in what, ISA server 2007, 2006, something like that. I don't know. I see this stuff, and to me, RDP, the reason I say VPN is so close to RDP is because VPN, just like RDP, can be set up so easily and so incorrectly so quickly, right? How many VPNs have you seen where as long as you're connected, you have full tunnel both sides of the network, right? The home network has full access to the office network. Office network has full access to the home network. Because you're using a Meraki or because you're using something that sets up the VPN for you super easily, it's also allowing all traffic. It's also rebroadcasting any ARP requests. It's also allowing UPnP across the network because you're using
the UPnP. That's it, right there. There's like, let me just see what's out there.
Yeah, says the guy with an Xbox in the background. But you get, but you get what I'm saying though. Like, it can be done, and there's so many ways to do it correctly. There's absolutely right ways to do it. But on the cusp of the Ivanti stuff, on the, it's just don't do it. Yes, and best case scenario, you can set up the wrong thing correctly. Just don't set up the wrong thing. Look for cloud native solutions. In my last MSP days, if they had an LOB, I was looking for a cloud alternative and a solid business justification why we weren't going to do an on-premises, or why we were going to do an on-premises. Because otherwise, I pushed everybody to cloud. Let's take maintenance out of the equation. Let's take hosting. Let's take support. Let's take all that out of the equation.
I think you're hitting it on the head right there. You were an MSP. You ran this stuff, and frankly, and I don't mean to offend half the audience, but I think we lost the other half of the audience in the very beginning of your statements when you were talking about in 90s and 2001, and right now you had all the kids. What was that? Is he saying what they had? What
I'm saying 90s, and there were people watching this who were born in 1999.
That's my point. That's why I was like half of our audience are the kids right now. They're like, well, I don't understand. Did you actually have to? What do you mean? What is 411? I don't even understand. You had to you called somebody for a 4. There was a phone that you had to actually push the buttons on the phone on the wall.
You can divide old and young by asking one simple question: how were the yellow pages divided? We know it's A through K and L through C. But
oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get into the important stuff. It's clear that, frankly, leaving the doors open is going to be a back door for new environments, new exploitations that you may not want in your environment. But it's not just us putting a back door into the network. So I think your notable is covering exactly that.
That's right. And in my notable mention, Chinese hackers deployed backdoor quintet to down MITRE, in a story written by Nate Nelson for The Verge. Chinese hackers breached MITRE in late 2023 using backdoors and web shells to exploit Ivanti Connect secure vulnerabilities and access its unclassified research network, Nerve. MITRE disclosed 5 unique attack payloads from New Year's Eve to mid-March, noting that the attackers started with root rot for reconnaissance and lateral movements in the Nerve environment. Then they infected virtual machines with payloads like Brickstorm, a Golang-based backdoor, and Wirefire, a Python-based tool for file management and command execution. A Perl-based web shell named Bushwalk was also used for command and control. On its blog, MITRE highlighted the importance of secure design, zero trust, continuous authentication, and software bills of material to counter cyber threats.
If you found this episode eye-opening, catch more MSP Dispatch at 10 a.m. throughout the week. Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.